All right, so I'm going to continue and cover the error handling for this session. And I'm going to go ahead and run a new script over here. And we'll look at the error handling. Okay, this would be like maybe a section 6 now, I think. I'll call it the error. Okay, so errors, there are like two ways. One is, of course, you can throw an error yourself. That's called using the signal command. And the other type of error is the error that is actually uh, being caught or captured by the MySQL server. Okay, so two types. So we'll do the first one first. This is the signal. Okay, the signal is lets you raise a question. I mean, raise a error message, right? A custom message to the user, for example. And the way it's used is usually you would raise a specific error number called I think number is like 45,000. That is the conventional user-defined error code. So we'll do something like this. So again, we have to use that inside of a procedure. So we'll do a delimiter here also. We'll call this procedure. Let's say we're gonna add some points to our users, okay? Okay. So here I'm going to declare a just a local variable, amount, integer type. I'm going to set default to just make this crash to a native number. So what I'm doing is that, so if it's a native number, then I'm going to say it's an invalid number, and I'm going to, throw the error. Okay. So, and once the error is thrown, then it will stop there, and the rest of the code should not execute. Okay, kind of like normal structure for many languages. So I'll put here, I say if the amount is less than 0, that's a negative number, then I'm going to throw this error called signal, and I'll put the SQL state equal to 4500. That's here. I'm going to set it to, I'm sorry, not equal. And I'm going to set a message. So this is the message text, call it message text, equals something like, points cannot be negative, right? Something more meaningful. If it's then end if here. If it's not a negative number, then I'm going to go ahead and update the members table. Members. And I'm going to set the point to the new points, which is going to be in the points plus maybe whatever that point is, the amount. Assuming it's a positive number. I only want to set only to a certain number, not all of them. So I'll put here where the member ID is equal to, let's go to the number 1, okay? So before, we're going to run this now. And just the store procedure. Before I do that though, I want to see what's inside the member first. You can put here, like select, from the members. Okay. So you can see what the member data looks like. So number 1 here, so her points is 120 points, okay? This is before I run the procedure. So now I'm going to call the procedure, add points. Call again after the updates done here. But in this case, should not because of a negative number, and that should fail. I should get a message here, error message, and the member table should not be altered, okay? So I'll run this all together at once. Okay, so here we go. You see down the bottom here, in the very bottom, it says error code 1544, points cannot be negative. That is a message we added here because my initial point was -5. And so this is the first statement, okay? This one here is this first statement here. It runs that, you can see the result here, and it runs a call because the call has an error. So it will stop at this point, and it does not run the update statement. So therefore, nothing changes. And because it failed, everything stops at the point. It's not even calling this second statement here. You don't see the data here. Otherwise, you would see two statements, the before and after, right? So if you make it work, let's say I'm going to put this into, I know that her number is 1 to 20. So let's say we add just 5 to it. So it'll be 125, the new number, okay? So because since I do that, I have to go back and just delete my store procedure first. This is the add points. Okay, I'm going to run this again to recreate that store procedure. Good, and I'm going to run this 3 statements together. All right, so here we go. The before, right? Maya has 120. We call the procedure successfully, no errors. So it skips the whole thing here, goes down here, updates it to her ID. We add 5 to it, and now her new number is now been set to 125. Okay, so that is the signal for your own custom error messages, and that's how you use it. Very simple like that. The other type is the handler, right? So this is called the I'll call it a handler. It's part of the it's captured by the database system, and so we're going to do another one here. So what the handler, so notice that with the signal, everything stops at this point. It doesn't go on, or you can't go on. But with the handler, you have two options. Either you stop at the point, or you can keep going, right, until that code is completed. Okay, yeah, there's two options. So let's do the first one first. Let's just go to continue. I put here continue keyword. Let's do again. We'll do a delimiter here again. We'll create a procedure. We'll call it auto insert. Okay, try insert statement. Okay, so when I insert some data into a table, maybe we'll show into the members table, add a new members into this list. We have 5 members now. So I'm going to do here, I'm going to declare a variable. This is where you declare the error. Okay, so you put here, this is the error. You cache the error. Yeah. Okay, and then I'm going to continue on until the rest of the code. Okay, so but I'm going to do we use the continue handler. Yes, I'll put here, I'll declare continue, that's the keyword, the handler for the SQL exception. Okay, that's the exception that is caught or thrown by the MySQL Server. And when I do that, you're going to do a select statement. So I'll put a message here. I'll print this message out. So I'll say that insert failed, right? And I'll put here like moving on to the next one, if you have any. And this is a column, so I'm going to put a column as this just note, okay? And then that is the error. And then now, so this will detect automatically, even though the select statement is actually after it, it will detect that when it handles as an exception thrown, then this will handle that. It will get the message here. So down here is where actually the insertion. So into the members table, add the member ID. I don't remember, but let's see, member ID. Yeah, member ID, first name, last name, join date. Just those 3, okay? I'm gonna not do the whole thing here. Values, I put here number 1. I do on purpose 1 because it's already, it exists already, right? I will see. So copy for the first name, and then I put here cat. Okay. I know there's no meaning, but it's okay. And then the current date will be today's date, and then you add that to it. Okay, so I'll just put a note here, ID 1 already exists. Why? So that it will throw the error. It won't throw the error then this will catch it. You see the message here. Okay, and then after that statement, I'll put another message here. I'll just say procedure finish or done. Put it as the note here, okay. So that's my procedure. I'm gonna run this. All right. Oh, has an error. MySQL Server. Oh, I have an error. What does it say? Error SQL Server. Check my MySQL Server version are right. Didn't tell me much, but what's the error here? Try insert, declare continue, handler for exception, select. Oh, I have two nodes. Oh, I think that's fine. One or the other. Insert two members, ID, first name, last name, and the join date. One and the current date. Yeah, how is that? Why is it wrong? Let me see. This is the try insert. It doesn't show up here. Yeah, let's try again. Oh, I missed time delimiter. We should catch that for me, but I did not. Again. All right, we got that. Now let's call it. Try insert. Okay, run that. And there we go. It says procedure finish, right? Even though it has an error, it's still run through because of this continuing, okay? That inserted, the insert failed, moving on. Right here, you see right here, the first run, the first message here. But this in the error is it fail, but because of the continue keyword, we continue on to the next statement and you keep doing that, right? And then we insert that here. Of course, it fail, so it actually run this, and then it goes to the select statement. You see that in the second result set over here. Okay, so that continue actually continues, and that's basically it. Now, to make this a stop, you basically just change this. So I'm going to just copy this statement here. I'll put it down here. We'll update this to see the example here, okay? So I'll put here declare. Instead of continue, you put here exit. Okay, with exit means if you caught the error, then stop. So I would say fail. I'll just put here stopping here. Okay. And then we'll turn this off because we're not going to run this. Right. Well, I forgot the shortcut to turn this off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and update this again and return to my try insert. Let's call it try insert. Let's delete this again. Okay, so run this command here to create that insert. And if I try again, you should not see the insertion statement. I mean, you should not see the procedure finish here. You should stop at this line. So let's run that. And sure enough, you see that it stops because it failed. It does not continue because of the exit command here. So this is behaving similarly like what we did with the signal up here. It terminates the system here. The rest of your code will be ignored. All right. So that is pretty much it. So the bottom line here is that for the signal, okay, the signal throws an error and basically stops there. For the handler, okay, you have two options. Either continue and keeps going after catching the error. Sometimes maybe you do that because maybe if you loop through a select statement or using a cursor, for example, and that record has some error, so it would throw the error, but then it continue on to the next one. Or if you keep inserting the data, maybe you want to do that because any error, you just ignore that, add the new data, and until the end of your procedure. And the other is the exit. Exit will execute, will stop right away, and just behaving exactly like the throw message. Okay, well, that is it. Well, thanks again. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.